Hey guys, if you couldn't tell, I'm sick. So Tom has been suffering with this really bad cough, cold, not quite flu but pretty close thing to it, and for the past week I thought I'd been doing really well at looking after him while also not getting sick myself. And then today I woke up feeling a little bit groggy, but I powered through and I went for a run, and then I got out the shower, and then I felt like death. So now I'm sitting here in my big blanket with a hot water bottle that I swear is heavier than most newborns, and my apple and ginger tea, hoping to get better soon because we're supposed to be getting back into pole fit. So long story short, I just kind of wanted to do a video that was a little bit easier, just something pretty chill but also fun. So I'm going to be doing something that hasn't been a thing since like 2015, something like that. So yeah, sure, let's start off the new year by being ill and bringing back a trend that hasn't been around for 5 years, shall we? So yeah, the Authortube Newbie Tag. All things considered, I am still a newbie. I haven't been doing YouTube very long, like a few months maybe. I started halfway through October, and now it's just coming into midway point in January. I'm still a newbie. I still don't really fully know what I'm doing. It's still a bit of a mishmash, but I'm having fun. So let's take a look at this newbie tag that I found on other Authortube channels, and I just thought it was a fun idea. So you don't have to watch this if you don't want to, but if you just want to get to know a little bit more about me and what you can expect on this channel, then stick around, we might have some fun, and hopefully I won't feel too sick in the process. So the first question is, how did you find out about Authortube? So it was kind of by accident, really. I didn't actually intend to go in to find a community or anything. I was just looking at some writing advice. I just typed in I think it was a video about tenses, like learning how to write in different tenses and not getting them too mixed up, which I'm still getting confused with anyway. But I managed to find a few people like Kate Kavanagh, Jenna Moresi, just Abby Emmons was another one that just really resonated with me. And then I discovered, oh, there are a lot of channels out here dedicated to writing and not just dedicated to book reviews, and it just kind of spawned from there, and there's this whole community, and that is how I found out about Authortube, just completely by accident. Wanted to get some writing advice, typed it into YouTube on a whim, clicked on a few videos and found a few voices that resonated with me. That was it. Second question is, what genres do you write in? And that is a fun question because I do like to dabble in different ones. Like my nano project that I'm writing at the moment is a new adult supernatural story that does have elements of drama and mystery to it. So I do love writing in the supernatural fantasy kind of styles. If you do pick up any of my stories, if they do actually get published eventually, hopefully they will at some point this year, maybe. Do not hold me on that. Hold me? Hold me. Do not quote me on that. Yeah, do not quote me on that. I want to have at least one story published by the end of the year, but it is a long, winding road full of confusion, and it needs a lot of research. But yeah, back to the question, which was genres. So you'll most likely find me writing with new adult, fantasy, supernatural, adventure stories, mystery, that kind of thing. It is a bit of a jumble, but that kind of vein is what I prefer to write in. Number 3, was your preferred writing tense or POV? Now, POV is point of view. I usually, when I was younger, when I first started experimenting with different writing styles, when I was still, I think about 11, something like that, when I really started wanting to take writing seriously, because you know, you take everything seriously when you're 11 years old. I really enjoyed writing first person because I thought it was easier. present tense, so everything is happening to me right now, because when you're that age, when you're going into the teenage years, that is what you feel like. You feel like the whole world is happening to you right now, and it's so overwhelming and scary, and that's just how I used to get my stories out. Now I actually prefer third person past tense, because it feels like this epic adventure has already happened and you get that joy of retelling it to someone else. And when it's in past tense, you get to tell them a little bit more detail because you're the one who's looking back at it in hindsight, but then you're also this omniscient narrator, so it feels like you have a little bit more control over your little puppet characters, and that's a very twisted way of looking at it, really. Are you a pantser, a plotter, or a plantser? Now, I have covered this in a previous video. I am a pants plotter, so I guess that would be in the whole plantser category. But yes, I do love making plans and making lists, but I wing it the whole time. I don't have a set idea of where the characters are going to end up or any of the main events that happen. So I will write out a plan, but in that plan I am just throwing everything into that plan and then revising it a bunch of times so it actually becomes a real plan. The first 2 chapters of a book I'll sort of wing it to see how it goes, and I will write the last chapter of a book just to get an idea of where I want them to be in, you know, looking at the plan as well. So, but yeah, then the rest of it does turn into trying to plot, but still, that nano story that I'm still writing, I'm still making adjustments to the outline, I'm still adding and altering things. I've added like 4 chapters since Nano's finished, and then, or planned 4 chapters, haven't written them yet, and taken away 2, so I am definitely a plantser, a pants plotter, yeah. Number 5, are you self-published, traditionally published, or waiting to be published? Well, this question doesn't need a lot of time. I am waiting to be published. I need to finish the dang book first. Moving on. Number 6, what literary agents, publishers are you represented by, or who would you like to be represented by if you're still waiting? Well, after doing a lot more research, I'm actually thinking that self-publishing is the right way to go because you just have so much more control over everything. However, part of me does still have a soft spot for Bloomsbury. If they wouldn't pick up any of my books, that would be great, but I'm not holding anything out. 7. What Authortube related videos can we expect to see from your channel? Well, I've already put up a fair few for you to get an idea. It's a bit of a jumble, so most of it, I don't like saying I give writing advice because I'm not published, so I don't feel like I have the right to give advice. But you will have looks into my writing process. You'll occasionally get some random tidbits like personal vlogs and baking videos. You might get a few little looks into what's going on with my life. But most of it will be centered around books and writing. So I am going to be starting a Book of the Month section. I am going to be talking about books a little bit more, different tropes. You'll find that sort of content. It is a bit of a jumble, but mostly it is going to be looking into my writing process and how I am trying to get myself published in some way. Number 8, when did you start writing? I honestly can't remember. I have always wanted to write stories. I remember being like 5 years old in primary school writing little stories about princesses and adventure and things like that, which never, obviously I was 5, they never lasted more than like 3 sentences, something like that, but there was just something there that just sparked an interest in writing. But I didn't actually finish my first full story until I was, again, 11, where I wrote a full novel, which looking back at it is so cringeworthy because it's the stereotypical,
oh, this orphan girl is so hard done by, and she's so pretty, but no one really understands her, and it turns out she's a chosen one of a princess of a different world, where there's werewolves and fairies and every supernatural creature ever, and she just happens to have every single power because she's the princess and she's going to stop a war.
I still keep it. It is still on my laptop, fully intact, and it's just nice to know that I do have something finished, even if it is the biggest steaming pile of shit you're ever going to read. So yeah, probably when I was about 11, that's when I started wanting to seriously take things seriously. When I started to want to write seriously as a hopefully one day profession. The words were there, they just weren't in the right order. Give me a break. Number 9, what was the first story you ever wrote? Well, I'm gonna count that 11-year-old steaming pile of shit one. So yeah, there's your answer, plain and simple. After that, I did start writing fan fiction, and for a while I had the highest rated, most commented story on the Animaniacs timeline, so take that one what you will. Also creepypasta. I loved writing creepypasta fanfiction as well. Number 10, what authors have inspired you the most? Now, I love so many, but the one that really got me started, I barely read anymore, but I think that's an age thing. I fell in love with Jacqueline Wilson and Lemony Snicket. Those two brought so much to such short books, and I absolutely loved it. Their stories were dark and sometimes handled really scary real world stuff, but they were written in such a way that it just resonated with you, and that just kind of took off. And also, they both wrote books aimed at younger audiences, but not once did they ever treat their audiences like idiots because they were younger, and I had full respect for that. Nowadays, well, as I grew older, J.K. Rowling was a massive one, and I know she's had a lot of stuff going on in the news at the moment. She isn't turning out to be the nicest woman, and that is just crushing. But I can still admire her for being a writer and the world she's created without agreeing with what she's doing at the moment, so I'm just standing by that. Also, Cornelia Funk, I can never know how to pronounce that surname. She wrote the Inkheart series, absolutely fell in love with her. There's just too many to list at the moment, I'll be honest, so we'll just move on quickly. Number 11, do you schedule your writing times or just write where you can? Honestly, I will just write when and where I can. I try to write every day, whether it's story stuff, reviews, outlines for these videos. Believe it or not, I do try and make an outline for these videos. It rarely goes to plan, but hey-oh. But yeah, I do try and write every day, even if it's not to a strict schedule, which I should try and make a schedule, but life is just so hectic, and when you're in a retail job where your timetable is never the same every week, it is so hard. But yeah, I do try and write every day, but it is when and where I can. Number 12, do you use a typewriter, computer, or write by hand? Now, I do have a typewriter, but I am still trying to fix it. But yeah, I do write mostly on my laptop, or if I'm out and about, if I'm at work and there's just nothing going on, then I'll bring out my notebook. If I'm in a coffee shop, I'll have my notebook or my laptop. Mostly, it is on my computer, but the notebook is always at my side ready to go. Number 13, where do you write? Anywhere I can. I write on my break at work. I write when I'm in the coffee shop. I write when I'm at home. I will write anywhere I can, for as long as I can, and I think that's actually really helped with my inspiration, because when you're out and about you just see a lot more of the world and you just get this rush of motivation because you know I'm not going to be here for very long, so I need to make this count, and then you continue it at home. So yeah, where do I write? Anywhere I can. Finally, number 14, what are you most looking forward to after starting Authortube? So many things really. I am looking forward to expanding this platform. I am looking forward to expanding the channel. I'm really looking forward to just getting involved with the community. I've already had some really nice comments from people, and I love to reply as much as I can and just thank them, because I think it's really sweet that people actually watch these videos in the first place. So yeah, I'm just really looking forward to just jumping headfirst into the community and just seeing where this channel takes me. I'm just really looking forward to the future in general. So that was the Authortube Newbie Tag. I am sorry if this video was boring. I hope it gave you a bit more of an insight into my sort of style and what you can expect here. And I am very sorry for being so ill. You can blame my husband, who just insists on sharing everything with me in sickness and in health. Yeah, I actually had fun. I mean, yeah, the whole tag thing hasn't been around for God knows how many years, but this was fun. It felt oddly nostalgic to go back. So, yeah, that was the Authortube Newbie Tag. Thank you guys for watching, and I guess I should tag other people now, so I tag you. Whoever may be watching, I tag you in some weird way. I don't know, guys. I think I'm gonna go for a nap. I'm sorry. Yes, thank you again for watching. I hope you have a great day. Happy writing, everyone. Goodbye.